Up next, ladies and gentlemen, we have the smart diaper. Now, this is going to revolutionise the way that you parent.
The smart diaper.
These days, everything is smart. What's wrong with smart? Nothing.
Oink oink, Piggy says good job.
But smarter. Smarter thinks big. Smarter helps destroy cancer with precision. Smarter 3D prints a bridge out of steel. Smarter makes the fastest faster. Smarter lets you binge watch without being watched. Smarter sees the future of medicine in deadly venom. Smarter sends school kids on field trips without leaving the classroom. Smarter uses big data, AI and 5G to fight climate change and feed future generations. Because the toughest challenges demand smarter technology.
Babies will love the smart diaper.
We do too.
Take that, smart. Lenovo. Smarter technology for all.
So yes, hello everyone. Welcome to Southeast Asia Startup Summit 2022, the second session. And this session is very interesting. In this session, we will talk about how we can convert our idea into business. So we have with us different panelists from different part of Southeast Asia. And let me introduce you one by one, our key panelists from different part of the world. First of all, I'm inviting Mr. LUTFOR RAHMAN. He is the CEO of Greentech Foundation, Bangladesh. Hello, LUTFOR bhai, how are you?
Hello, yes, fine. How are you? Hope everything everyone is fine.
All right, thank you. Thanks for joining in our session. I hope you will enjoy this session altogether. Now I will invite all the way from India, Mr. Abhishek. He's the CEO and founder of Accelarize Network. Hello, Abhishek. I hope I'm audible to you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, thanks, Imran. Am I audible now?
You need to unmute. Okay, now I'm inviting Mr. ZAYED, is the founder and managing director of Joslon Limited, leading leather brand of our countries. Welcome, ZAYED, in today's live. Now I will invite all the way from Sri Lanka, Mr. THAREENDRA KALPAGE. Hi, THAREENDRA, can you hear me?
Hi, Imran. I can hear you loud and clear. How are you?
Awesome. Thanks for joining. Now I will invite Mr. ASM REZAUL KARIM. He is from Bangladesh and he's the director of X Index Companies Limited. Hello, REZAUL bhai, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. And hello, everybody.
Awesome. Absolutely. So welcome to Southeast Asian Startup Summit powered by Lenovo in association with WUST, Washington University of Science and Technology, AMARPE, AVS Group, and we are partnering with different big brands of our countries to let people know about the stories of our startups. At the same time, how we can convert the idea into business. We have the dignitary guest. So I will start with Mr. LUTFOR RAHMAN. As he is running a green incubation project, I want to know more about how we are going to see different impactful initiative from your side. Before that, can we please have a quick introduction with a short 30 seconds? Let's start with Mr. LUTFOR RAHMAN. LUTFOR bhai, a short introduction of yours and your initiative.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Imran. Very pleasure for me to join this program, the Southeast Asian Startup Summit. Really, it's appreciated that this kind of very time-demanding initiative taken by Inspiring Bangladesh. I would like to thank Mumtaz for his very enthusiastic approach and very constructive work. We have been working the last 2 days, I have seen. So, at the same time, I would like to thank the other panelists who joined this very interesting session. Uh, Actually,
Right.
for the startups, this kind of discussion should be, shared. I mean, too much so that they can learn about the practical experience because we all want to be an entrepreneur, but at the end of the day, very few we can be successful. So there is a lot of things we need to do, we need to know. So let me introduce our Greentech Foundation first. Greentech Foundation Bangladesh, we actually working with the uh, actually to support the government and the development partners for implementing the sustainable development goals, especially the few goals which is related with the technology. So that's why we call it a green tech, and we have a
Right.
very clear vision to support the government initiative, especially for the implementing the SDG agendas. Particularly, we are focusing on clean
Right.
energy and also the technology-based solutions who are actually relate with the business, and we always encourage
Right.
the entrepreneurs to come to their solution based on the technology as something which is very much uh, environment
Right.
friendly and also sustainable. So, it's, as our very
Thank you, Lutfur bhai. I'll
knowledgeable,
come back to you again.
no, no, it's my pleasure.
Right.
Actually, as
Right.
the
So,
other speaker,
can,
yeah, should I continue or should I give a space for the other speakers for introduction?
yes, sir. I will come back to you again after the introduction of the
Okay,
other guests. So
okay, fine.
now it's Abhishek. Abhishek, can you give a short introduction of yours, please?
Sure, sure, Imran.
Abhishek.
So we are a bouquet consulting from India. My company name is Accelarize Networks Private Limited. We work on three C's basically for the startups: connect, courage, and corpus. So these are the principles of Accelarize Networks to provide early stage startups, and we are working very aggressively across India.
Right. Right. Zayed, your introduction, short introduction.
Hello everyone, my name is ZYNDICATE and I'm the founder of Joslon Limited. So what we basically do is we are typically like a cloud kitchen to many brands. Currently working with 19 brands in my country. I'm providing their all R&D and product development supports recently. And also like international brands, I have been working with 8 international brands. And like I'm their backbone of their brand basically. So that is my company. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Zayed. Thanks for joining. And Joslon is one of our partner of this summit. Thank you, Joslon Limited. And now I'll move to Tharindra Kalpage. Can you please introduce yourself very short? Yeah.
So I represent a company called Digital Syndicate. So we are incorporated in US, and we are a investment firm who's looking to for a tech startups and agri startups to provide seed funding. So that's our main goal, to see who are the people who's doing well, and maybe to understand what great companies that nobody's building, and to find out them, and to support the set of entrepreneurs to continue with them.
Right, right. Amazing. Thanks for joining from Sri Lanka. Now,
Pleasure.
our ASM result.
Hello, everybody.
Yes.
Myself is ASM Rizal Karim. I'm the director of BLUEBEES Limited under the corporate governance of X-Index companies. We are actually, myself is a business person. I've been working in multinationals. Then at the end of the day, we found the need of creating a platform for people to work, entrepreneurs to be on board. So our company, BLUEBEES Limited, is a group that helps other startups to grow. We ourselves is a startup, and we are having multiple startups, as well as we are inviting other startups to grow. So it's a kind of incubation and business running apart, as well as a business itself. So yes, we are trying to find the puzzles and resolve it. So I'll talk on my turn. I believe you can continue.
Thank you. Thank you, Razul bhai, for joining this session. So basic idea of this session is to discuss about like how we can convert our idea into business. So we have the people, those who are expert on this particular business, because they have started everything from the idea. Now they are successful on this particular field. Those who are watching live from YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, please the live link, because there is a gift for a random listener or a sharer. So don't miss this opportunity to get a gift from the Inspiring Bangladesh. So I will start with LUTFOR Bhai, because as we know, like Greentech Foundation is working to incubate different new projects. So what are the impacts you are seeing currently in this digital Bangladesh as we are moving towards smart Bangladesh? What are the impact in this particular industry? Yeah.
Thank you, Imran, again. Actually, nowadays it's a very good culture we could develop, that people are coming with doing business in innovative way, which was not seen before in our time. We have seen that the entrepreneur, they are naturally sometimes they go and they very I mean, rare to get the support what they are getting now. It's a good sign, and definitely the culture has been developed to support the startups and the ideas in a business. And this platform is also I mean, the kind of part of this kind of initiative. So this is very good approach, and the impact. What we have seen that ultimately um, uh, this the intention to bring themselves as an entrepreneur is became very much popular in the youth minds. So it's definitely a impactful achievement, and ultimately the young people are now, they are more motivated to become an entrepreneur than an employee service holder. So from our experience, what we have seen that in an incubation center, when we are entertaining the startups or the young entrepreneurs, especially who want to do business, they're coming with very much rough ideas sometimes. Even
Right.
they don't have any depth R&D or depth knowledge about the product, even the business sometimes. So ideas sometimes very fine, but you have to be very much very much focused on the business point of view, and also the economical or financial sustainability, because without that it's not the sometimes very good idea cannot be survive or sustain. So what I would suggest that the people who want to be an entrepreneur, they should come to the very concrete ideas, so that it can be it can mold it as a business model. And also for that you need to go for use research and development, I mean R&D. So this is a very big challenge, and because our youth sometimes they don't they don't want to spend their time for R&D, rather they want to be
Right.
become billionaire
The market feasibility, if I can add in a
yeah,
more proper way, right?
that's true. That's
Exactly.
true. That's true.
Exactly.
That's
And one more thing I want to add regarding Bangladesh perspective, like government is very much enthusiast and they're very much keen to support this kind of initiative through different kinds of
exactly.
incubation and local companies, local foundations like yours are supporting in a bigger way. And those who are watching, they can ask different questions, comments, and stuff. And please share the live so that it will help your friends or other innovators, those who are coming up with new ideas. Now I'll move to Abhishek regarding Indian market. What you are seeing in terms of converting the idea into business, because as you are into this ecosystem for a quite long time, what are the challenge you are seeing in this ecosystem? Very shortly. Thank you.
Okay, great. So, Imran, I would start with the thing that people love their ideas, but when it turns out to be a business, believe me, it is really painful. You know, when you have the idea, you speak to, n number of people, you speak to investors, and once you get a tap on your back that it's a good idea, you fall in love with that idea. But when you want to turn it to the business, you need certain resources, and we you need to be very careful when you are using your resources. So I'm talking about resources like team building, finding out a right co-founder, finding out a right market, finding out a right product market fit. So all these things becomes pretty painful out there. And right now, if you will see, like even if you talk about Bangladesh or if you talk about India, there are a lot of startups which are coming up with the great ideas, you know. And fortunately, in the current scenario, they have the platforms, the incubation centers, the accelerators. Government is also providing certain grants basically for these kind of startups, right? But unfortunately, those ideas, like 100 ideas, goes to that path of becoming a business, and out of those 100 or 1,000 ideas, only 10 reach to their optimum destination out there. So when you are trying to build a business out of your idea, be careful about the resources which you are actually accumulating for your business. So these resources would be your co-founder, having a right team, working with the right resources, and keeping a constant eye on your cash flow. That is very important, because few people like make a very big mistake. Like once they have the idea, once they incorporate the company, they start searching for fundraising. So fundraising is not an option when you are into it, when you want to build a big business out of it. And believe me, even if you take a one step a day, like you will end up finding your niche market, you end up your customers, and your idea will turn up to the business. So for all the new startup founders and entrepreneurs, my advice would be, just keep taking one step at a time. But right now, if you will see in the current scenario, a lot of founders, the moment they start making certain revenues, the moment they have got the validation on their idea, they start searching for the investor. So they particularly like they want to play on somebody else's wealth, somebody else's money. It is not the game actually, to be very frank with you. So when you want to build business, you need to play with your money, with your time, with your resources. That would be my take on it.
Yes, Abhishek, I'm here. I'm listening to you. Now I'll move to Mr. Tharindra to know more about the ecosystem in Sri Lanka and how you guys are playing a key role over there.
So,
Yes.
thanks, Imran. So the Sri Lankan ecosystem is, I think, mostly same as the other Southeast Asian markets. I'll start from what I saw. From I have seen, because of we've been trying to invest on several startups. I'll start from some things I have seen, experience, some issues that I've seen. I think mostly the new startups coming out on, especially on Southeast Asian market, is trying to compete on the industry that is there are already established players, right? And in fact, can you hear? Can you hear me? Imran, you can hear me, right?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can
we
hear
can
you.
hear.
Right. Sorry. So I think what most important part that people have a misunderstanding is they think sometimes the competition is good, right? So my understanding, what from my experience, what I always told the people who's coming with the funding proposal to us is build something. I think the monopoly is the best way forward, because if you think about because if you think about the starting a business with the players who have already established market versus the starting a business niche market, I think it's always better. My advice to all these Southeast Asian startup entrepreneurs is competition is bad, right? Don't believe that the capital is saying competition is good. Competition is bad. Go for a monopoly. Start something with a niche market, just like Amazon did. They started with book, then only they go on to the other markets, then only they go on to the other items on the e-commerce side. So try to find out a niche market, or try to find out the business that nobody try to find out the business, a great business that nobody's building, right? And that's my advice. Otherwise, what you do is, start up if your startup is focusing on something, or a business, or the idea, there is already established players, you are going to end up by losing your money, because more and more competition means more and more price reductions, right? And your market share is not going to be low, not going to be high. So focus on a monopoly, focus on a niche market, and dominate that market. Then expand your businesses to other markets. I think that's the one thing that I haven't seen
Right,
people
right.
doing. Right,
So yeah,
Imran, you
thank
were
you,
saying
Dharendra,
something.
for your observation on this. Now I'll move to Zayed because as I know him early time, and he has converted business. So I want to ask Zayed about like how
Yeah. Imran bhai, can you please repeat the question? Couldn't hear that. Hello?
Imran, can you repeat the
start
question?
journey of yours, how you can you hear me? Zayed, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you now.
So basically, what my question is, like, you have started from very early age, you're starting leather products and stuff. So how you have converted your idea into a business, your journey from your point of view. Thank you.
So, so basically, from an early stage of my life, I was like very fond of leather items and all those
Hear
leather,
me?
like using a leather jacket, using leather shoes, fancy leather wallets. So after graduating from the university, doing my MBA, I went to do a job in the e-commerce industry with a vision of starting my own leather goods factory someday. So from that e-commerce industry, I started building communication with my vendors who were selling different type of things. For example, like electric items or like home and living items. So I started communicating with them and started like pitch my leather goods idea to them to start a brand of them in the market and launch the brand, as there were no brands doing leather goods back then, like 4 to 5 years ago. So after like leaving the jobs, I set up my factory with like two machines and three people and made some samples and went to my those vendors who were related to my e-commerce industry, and they started the business. I gave like 5 to 6 designs to each of them, like 50 to 40 pieces each. I just gave them and told them to just sell in the market and let's see how the demand is. So after the launch the product, it was very much surprising that in a week everyone ran out of stock. So they started got very much interested in the business, and every one of them have now showroom in like Gulshan, Bonani, Uttara. Everyone like owns 3 to 4 showrooms, each of them. So like, and also I used to visit each and every country with my samples and market and go to the field, go to each and every shops with my products, like raw marketing strategy. And from them, I converted them from apparel industry to leather industry. Most of them, like I converted them to this business. Basically, they were taking denim or like RMG items from Bangladesh. So I gave them the idea to fill up the container. They had like few CBMs left each and every time. So I came out with a solution that like to fill up the CBM or like you can add leather goods in the container or like provide gifts to customer with a denim. You can give a belt or card holder hanging like with the chain. So they like really like the idea. So that's how I got my first export order. And now I am working with like eight global brands who are like from Saudi Arabia, Japan, Germany, Poland, and they are getting
Wow.
good response recently. So
Wow,
I'm like
that's
planning expansion in the footwear project recently. So because the customers are same, the bases are same, so why not go to a different
right,
sector?
right. Great. It was quite impactful journey, I must say. Thank you, Zaid, for sharing. Now I'll go back to Mr. Rizal Karim to know more about his journey, because the whole idea of this session is to inspire the whole generation regarding taking the initiative to convert their idea into business. So I want to know more about Mr. ASM Rizal Karim's experience, how he converted the whole idea into business. And those who are watching, please share the live. You will get a gift if you are lucky. Yeah, please.
Thank you very much. And it's my pleasure to be here with you guys, sharing my experience. Thing is that, all of the initiative starts with some idea, some plan, some dream, some vision. We also had vision. Look, the company I am working with, the company I'm representing here is not a true sense startup having venture capital and things like that. It is corporate backed, but again, the starting is the same. We should have a vision and an idea. So, what happened is we found that the country and the new generation people, um, the millennials, they are all going towards a change. In the past, people used to look for job and settle their life, but nowadays, most of the youngsters, they are more focusing on to entrepreneurship. So for the entrepreneurs, we start with idea, then we shape it up into a model that everybody knows, and we do the calculation. For me, the good thing was like I'm backed with corporate experience. I've been working in footwear industry, by the way. Just nice to hear from Zayed that I've been working in footwear industry for a long time. With that experience and knowledge, we found that a startup is not exactly the same way it operates the way we do in existing companies. So after creating the models, we uh, got the backup from our group. And the idea of the group is to create a platform, a place where all the entrepreneurs can work. So our startup is dealing with startups, and this whole journey is building a ecosystem that can help our entrepreneurs as our customers. So after having the model, after having the first layer of evaluation, because in many cases a startup that is initially started by youngsters like Zayed and others, they usually come up with ideas, new ideas, but converting it into a proper model, proper financial structure, and all the peripheries like human resource, the team, the legal part, marketing. These are the things, these are the components that actually initially is not visible in the eyes of the entrepreneurs. But for us, it was a plus point. We could be able to see that thing, and we made the plan accordingly. So right now, BLUEBEES Limited, which is actually invented with the DNA of X-Index companies, which was a startup 40 years back. They started with tiles manufacturing, construction, and a lot other ventures, power plant and others. The BLUEBEES Limited came up with service, with technology, with giving support to new entrepreneurs to grow. Focusing that, we have created 7 different verticals to work with. One is a platform where people can start business. As I just have heard that the leather business started from the journey, from understanding of e-commerce, right? So we also have created a platform that gives us opportunity, the platform called Nilam XYZ, to get the new entrepreneurs as a place for sourcing. It's not only a place for sourcing, but also branding, because we have created a small platform called BLUEBEES XYZ, where we help people for branding. This is very important. Most of the times we start business, we means the new startup people, we think that we'll do this, that, but we don't have the clue. Like LUTFOR has the right placement, who is actually giving us that support to people. And from corporate side, we are also giving that kind of support. The XYZ, the advertising wing, it is giving small entrepreneurs support to come up with basic strategy. Strategy, we don't need to learn again and again and again. It is there in the industry. We know how to reach up to a certain extent, how to grow, how to sustain. And this thing is given support through BLUEBEES XYZ. That is another startup, These small startups are stitched together. Then we also have found that people have difficulties in communication. A small fintech, a small e-commerce and other basic startups, they have difficulties in communication. They cannot hire people at the first day because, as we have understood, the startup is not meant for getting the VC, getting the big fund. It is the passion that let you grow, let you make your thing happen. In this part, again, the question becomes, who will communicate for you? Is it always me? Usually the CTO, CEO, this is a very standard model. There we lack this part, and it's not that cheap. And if you make mistake in this place, you will not be able to brand yourself in the right place where you want to see yourself. So again, there we create a small startup called BLUEBEES for You, which is actually a wing of BLUEBEES customer care system as a BPO service to support with a very small price, like $500, Bangladesh taka, 1,200 taka, which if you go with an advertising firm, it is never possible. Then we also have ideas that, look, a big brand can go onto television. A big brand can go onto big billboards, road signs, all the things. For small entrepreneurs, they even cannot think of that at the first stage. Maybe sometimes it is true that it's not needed, but when the brand establishment part is needed, it is important. To do that, for myself, if I want to do it for my small startup, I may not be able to hold a big billboard for the whole day for 3 months or something. So again, we came up with the idea, okay, why not to share the ATL, BTL, TTL together so that we can have the benefit shared. This is the way entrepreneurs can work too.
Exactly. We will come back to you again, REZAUL bhai, to know more about your story. Let's take a short break, and I will come back to Mr. LUTFOR Rahman to know more about his upcoming plan to incubate different idea into innovation. So we are coming.
অনলাইন বিজনেসে মার্চেন্টদের ফাস্ট এবং সিমলেস ট্রানজ্যাকশনের জন্য প্রয়োজন একটি স্ট্রং পেমেন্ট গেটওয়ে যা সিকিউর পেমেন্ট কালেক্টিং এবং সেলস প্রফিট ট্র্যাকিং এ সাহায্য করবে। তাই টাইম সেভিং এর পাশাপাশি রিয়েল টাইম কাস্টমার এনগেজমেন্ট এবং পেমেন্ট সিকিউরিটি এনশিওর করতে আমার পে আপনার অনলাইন ব্যবসার জন্য বেস্ট সলিউশন। আমার পে বাংলাদেশ ব্যাংক স্বীকৃত পিএসও, যা একটি সেফ, ইউজার ফ্রেন্ডলি এবং রিলায়েবল পেমেন্ট সলিউশন। এখানে মার্চেন্ট একটি প্ল্যাটফর্ম থেকেই তার সকল কাস্টমারদের পেমেন্ট ভিউ অ্যান্ড ম্যানেজের পাশাপাশি মাল্টিপল পেমেন্ট অপশনের সুবিধা পাচ্ছে। আমাদের ফিচার্সগুলোর মধ্যে রয়েছে কাস্টম ইনভয়েস জেনারেটর, সোশ্যাল মিডিয়া চ্যানেলের মাধ্যমে ইনভয়েস লিঙ্ক শেয়ার করে পেমেন্ট গ্রহণ, ইজি পেমেন্ট ইন্টিগ্রেশন প্লাগইন অ্যান্ড এপিআই কানেকশন, এবং প্রতিটি ট্রানজ্যাকশনের সাথে থাকছে ইমেল ও এসএমএস নোটিফিকেশনের সুবিধা। এছাড়াও চার্জব্যাক প্রিভেনশন থেকে শুরু করে ফ্রড ম্যানেজমেন্ট এবং ইএমআই এর ফ্যাসিলিটিস থাকছেই। তাই একটা স্ট্রং ব্যাক অফিস সিস্টেম অ্যান্ড 3 লেয়ার সিকিউরিটির মাধ্যমে যে কোনো অনলাইন বিজনেসের জন্য আমার পে পেমেন্ট গেটওয়ে হতে পারে আপনার পেমেন্ট কালেকশনের একটি নিরাপদ সমাধান। বিস্তারিত জানতে ভিজিট করুন www.amarpay.com।
So yes, we are back again. Now it's time to know more about Greentech Foundation, the upcoming plans for our youth, how they can convert their idea into business, and what are the initiatives they are taking to make it happen. Over to you, LUTFOR bhai.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Before the break, I was actually listening REZAUL bhai. He was speaking very practical things, what actually need to know for every startups. Because when the people want to be an entrepreneur, they are sometimes, they are not themselves very prepared to move in a professional way. That's why what we have seen, it's not Bangladeshi only scenario, it's a global scenario that most of these startups around, more than 60% startups, they cannot achieve in the end goal because they are sometimes accidentally they became the entrepreneur without any having any pre-preparation and even without any proper documentation. So what we actually providing support from our Greentech Foundation, especially from our incubation center, when the startups are coming with their ideas, coming with their business, we focused on their documentation first. Because what we have seen, most of the case, even they're sometimes scared to share their whole ideas with some, even the accelerator, even the incubation center, or even with the VCs, because they are always scared about their hacking their ideas. So we primarily what we want to ensure, we want to ensure their intellectual property rights, so that they can easily share with anybody about their innovation or about their ideas. So from our incubation center, we especially emphasize on preparing their proper documentation. Even sometimes the startups, they cannot even approach with their investors, even in the banks, for their scaling up their business because of lacking of their proper documentation. So it will help them to grow up by their own. They don't need to be dependent on the VCs and the other investors, because as an entrepreneur, they always dream to bring their business by own capacity, and sometimes they dream to be a self owner or independent owner for their own business. So in that case, we what we are giving them the support, especially preparing their documentation, preparing their others, establishing their others' rights, right? After having the registration properly, because from my experience, what we have seen, sometimes they jointly start their business with their co-partners or co-founders, but after some certain time, they have created some gap of understanding or lack of understanding, and after sometimes they separated from their take part. So in that case, sometimes very good initiative, good dream, it became destroyed. So
Right.
if they can know, if they know about their right, if they know their legal entity or legal identity, it may help them to go a longer. So what we are providing them the support, especially preparing their documentation and also prepare them for the bankable project, so that they can have their own debt funding or debt loan from the banks, even from the other financial institutions. Because present government actually they have taken so many initiatives to support the startups and new business ideas. Even from this Ministry of ICT, they have their own funding approach. Also from Bangladesh Bank, they have so many options and so many policies to support the, I mean, uh, ideas, especially the startups and new businesses. Like the Bangladesh Bank, they have developed 500 crore taka for a startup business, and also they have 200 million euro and 200 million US dollar for low cost funding for the entrepreneurs and business. So this kind of information they don't know. Even the banks sometimes they don't have any interest to support the entrepreneur through this kind of policies or through this kind of financial packages. So what we are doing now, we are actually airing the all part of the
Ecosystem.
ecosystem, like bankers, like the government officials, also the entrepreneurs, also the other private sectors, and the even NGOs and INGOs. We are providing them the technical capacity building support, so that they, enriched by their own capacity and knowledge, so that they can exchange their views in a place where the startups need to grown up. For them grown up.
Excellent. Excellent, Lutfur Bhai. And we proudly say that Greentech Foundation is one of our partners, strategic partner of this summit. And we're looking forward to collaborate in coming days as well to develop this startup ecosystem of Bangladesh.
Yes,
Now it's time for Mr. Zayed bin Karim to know more about his future plan and how he is planning to collaborate with the stakeholders and other people, those who are watching right now, and what are the opportunities he is ready to offer. Over to you, Zayed.
So basically, I'm now planning to expand my project and introduce like footwear, leather tanning process in a compliance system factory. As I have buyers, existing buyers, so those buyers are asking for more uh, production and um, more diversified products. For example, they are also asking for jute and leather combination, sustainable products. So I am trying to offer them, like for example, that's why I'm asking. I'm looking for some potential investor and potential partner who can help me grow and make a compliance factory in our industrial zone, so that we have all types of support there, and all my 8 to 10 buyers can fulfill their requirements from one factory. Now, for example, now I'm providing them footwear. I'm sourcing from outside footwear from different small factories. I'm sourcing small quantities from there, and I cannot fulfill my buyer demands very simply. So that's why planning for a big projection and making a big plan to
Right.
initiate the plan as early as possible.
Absolutely. So it's really amazing to know that, and I believe there are different people, those who are watching, or like they are looking for collaborations. They will definitely reach out to you. Now I'll move back to Mr. Tharindra from Sri Lanka to know more about like what are the suggestions, like as you are in this industry for a long time. So what are the suggestions you want to give to the people or like the youth, those who are watching, those who have the innovative idea but they don't know how to start and where to start? So what will be your expert suggestion on that? Over to you.
Thank you, Imran. So, first, I think listening to my other fellow panelists is, I think, and for everyone, there is a one thing is very clear. So, on your startup journey, there is no single formula for success, right?
Sure.
You can see from what you heard from the other speakers, it's always a different story. It's very interesting. So from our point of view as digital syndicate, what we whenever we have in Sri Lanka, we have invested on three startups currently. We went through, there were a lot of proposals, but we were very selective. The biggest question we were asking was, rather than getting the proposals from the startup founders, what we thought of, what great companies that no one is currently building, right? So the contrarian questions like that, tell me something true, but nobody agrees with you. That what great companies that no one is currently starting is something like that. A contrarian questions. So the my biggest takeaway, or the if you ask me, if Imran asks me, give me some advice. So we need to understand every moment in business happens only once. So if you take Mark Zuckerberg, the next billionaire will not build a social network, right? Next Bill Gates will not build operating system, or the how should I say it? Next Larry Page or Sergey Brin won't be making a search engine, right? So if you are copying these people, or the next Jeff Bezos will not be e-commerce coming out of from e-commerce. So if you are copying these people, you are actually not learning from them, right? That's the one lesson that few conversations that I had with startup founders that I gave them. That's number one. The number two is uh, teamwork is utmost important for startups, right? If you take so small group of people bound together and having a sense of mission can change the world. So we have seen that, right? If you take Figma started in 2010 and did not make any money till 2015-16, and Adobe brought Figma for 20 billion, right? So you have to believe on what you're doing and keep doing it. So it's not like when you try to climb a mountain, on your first step you won't see the view from the top, right? It will be difficult. You have to keep climbing, and take my word, view from the top is amazing. So the teamwork is very, very necessary on the startups, and you have to find that team who is passionate about that. And the
Right.
third point that I want to leave you with, build a strong foundation on a startup. If your foundation is messed up, it's very difficult to continue, or it's very difficult to grow. And remember, the last and fourth, always build a monopoly. That's the one true thing that I believe with all my heart, because all happy companies are different, right? Imagine just take examples of all the success companies, they're different, right? Each one of them is earning through a monopoly. Now Google might say they are not, they don't have a monopoly. Now they are doing a travel booking. It's not just search, but if you take Google, it's about 66 to 70% of their income is search, and that's a monopoly, right?
Right.
And take the companies are failing, all those are same. So remember, all those good, successful, happy companies are different. All those companies or startups that have failed, about 80% are same. So those are the few things that I observed. These are from the experience that I gathered. And keep doing what you're doing, and take example for
Excellent.
Figma.
Excellent,
Figma
Tarindra,
uh,
for
Figma
your
founder was
experience.
19, right? When he started 19, I always imagine. And the other thing I want to leave you is, start building something from the niche market, and to have that $1 billion vision is very difficult when you in a corporate structure, right? So you
Right.
have advantage as a startup to build and make that vision. You don't have people coming and telling, this is our vision, this is our culture. Culture eats strategy for breakfast. Simple as that in corporate level, right? So you build that culture, you continue your business, and keep believing yourself.
Exactly.
My
Thank you, Tarindra, for your opinion, and it was really helpful for the people, those who are watching. Now I'll
Thank you.
go back to Abhishek to add a few more your findings for the people, those who are watching, and they are ready to start their business based on their idea. Abhishek.
Yeah, so I think like our esteemed panelist has covered all the topics. To be very frank with you, I have nothing to say more out here. But the last advice I would give to my audience out here, you need to start with a plan. Or like how I perceive my things. Like we make a plan first, and we follow that plan for say 3 months and 4 months, and throughout that journey we learn from the mistakes, and then we tweak the template. So you need to figure out your best template, your best work culture, which you need to build out of your idea and your business. And once you
Right.
start doing these things, you need to do it continuously for at least 2 to 3 years if you're really serious about your idea, if you're really serious about building something. Because building something out of the passion, building something out of a hobby, it is not something I would suggest to the entrepreneurs and the startup founders. Because when you start something, people believe in you, your team believe in you. And when you are doing it just for the hobby, you can shut it down anytime. Oh, now
Right.
my hobby has changed, so I'll start up something else. So that planning is very important, because your startup is not your hobby. It is basically the bread and butter of the families which are working with you, those who are putting their hard earned money, or say sweat, or so everything is there basically. And a founder need to understand that it is not something which is funny, or which is a time pass or something. So you need to be a serious founder first of all. And a serious founder always starts with a plan. He surrounds himself with the right kind of people, with the right mentality,
Right.
and he has that kind of vision as well. So the founder who has a great plan, he will always think of 2 years ahead and 3 years ahead of the market. If you will see the camera market, Kodak failed. A lot of big players failed. Why? Because they did not accept the change. That's the whole idea. So
Same goes to
all
the
of
Nokia. Right.
yeah, same goes with Nokia itself. They got vanished. BlackBerry,
Yeah.
it was one of the biggest, I would say, tool for the business people. So
Right.
these big companies are the examples, and you know, founders of today and the entrepreneurs of today need to think from that perspective. That if they are not having a right plan, some way or the other they're gonna fall. That's the whole idea.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, if
So
I
here,
can sum up with the hobby versus the seriousness, at the same time, being a serious founder is the most important thing. Those who are watching right now. So, I will add with Lutfor Bhai, like Lutfor Rahman Bhai is dealing with most of the young entrepreneurs right now in Bangladesh. I have closely connected with this initiative. So, what will be your suggestion of those who are watching right now to get prepared to be a part of this Greentech Foundation incubation project? Dr. Bhai, over to you.
No, actually, through your platform, I would like to inform all of our young entrepreneur who want to be an entrepreneur that we actually asked for the proposal to submit for the incubation support, and already we received around 130 proposals from
Wow.
different corner of the country, and it's amazing that so many innovative ideas we received. And fortunately, we received from very people who are from very much in a remote area, and we made some outreach program even in Chittagong, Cox's Bazar, even Joshua. Last week we were in Joshua, and next week we are going to Khulna and also in Barishal. So we actually are meeting with them over there, and trying to find their thoughts, and also how it can be turned to as a business, a successful business model. We started. We are also starting from the very beginning. So definitely, who want to get the incubation support, they can
Right.
easily reach to our incubation center. But always keep in your mind that we only providing support for the green and sustainable initiative. And don't mind that we will not entertain other ideas, but what we do, we always suggest them to make or convert it as an environment friendly initiative, so that it
Brilliant.
can be sustainable and it can be climate related, action related.
Brilliant,
Wow.
brilliant. Thank you, Lutfur Bhai,
Great to hear.
for joining and supporting us through this summit from Greentech Foundation. But last but not least, we are coming to the end of this session. We will end up with Mr. ASM REZAUL Karim with a specific question, like in which kind of innovations or idea you guys would love to be invest. Yes.
Thank you for the question. This is very important. You know, in the industry, ideas are coming up, but the ideas should be having some value proposition that should resolve some issues in the lifestyle of human being or in the way of we are growing. It's not only an idea that may be visionary too, but that cannot make a disruption, a change, and innovation in such a way that will add some value to the life of future people. The thing is that here I need to add some points because all the brothers here, they are telling us about the whole scenario. In a short, most of the cases, when we start dreaming, we dream something, but that dream may exist already. Nowadays, I see many of the kids are coming up with new ideas, but that idea, if they do day-to-day study, they will find it that it already exists, maybe in a different form. So a good study base, learning base is needed to evaluate your idea. And companies like those backbones, those who are supporting us, yeah, their job is also to help us scrutinization in the scrutinization process. Another thing is sometimes we think of the idea, but that idea may be scalable or not. That is another question at the very early stage. We cannot even feel it. Our entrepreneurs, they cannot even feel it. But the fire is there. They think that is going to happen. But in which model it will be scalable, that is another function that we see indeed. So nowadays, most of the ideas that we are looking into is something related to environmental improvement, something related to the improvement of business ecosystem. Nowadays, we are also looking into new venture, new startup idea related to meeting the gaps, the puzzles of current business ecosystem. For example,
Right.
the e-commerce and other companies are doing sell, but whether it is reaching to the last point or not in the intact form. There are many players there. We see that there is delivery thing, this and that, but the whole ecosystem there is some missing. If that kind of missing things are filled up by people, yes, that the idea we are giving focus into. So yes, most of the cases, entrepreneurs, I should tell you guys that you must come up with ideas that will give some changes, that will give some input in our day-to-day ecosystem. I think that is
Right.
enough from my side because government is giving backup, even corporates are giving backup, incubation centers are there. It's not like the past that we had to find a lot of the things everywhere. Things are there, and I'm very happy to be a part of this session where Imran Bhai is giving us the clue, giving the entrepreneurs the clue, the roadmap, how to proceed. So
Exactly.
yes, this is something
Exactly. The
interesting.
whole idea of this summit is to create a bridge between the people, those who are in the corporates, at the same time, those who are going to start their own idea into business. So, with this note, we are coming to the end of this session. Anyone wants to add anything? Very short, 20 seconds. Anyone? I think everyone is done with their opinions. So I'm coming. I'm ending this session with this note. Please do join in this summit. We have another 8 session left in coming 3 days. So everyone will enjoy their interested topic, and the next topic or session is coming. It's all about fintech, and those who are interested to know more about the rising fintech startups of Southeast Asia, just join in the next session. Thank you everyone for joining. Hope to see you soon in coming
Thank
days. Have a
you.
good
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Up next, ladies and gentlemen, we have the smart diaper. Now, this is going to revolutionize
The smart diaper.
These days, everything is smart. What's wrong with smart? Nothing.
Oink oink. Piggy says good job.
But smarter. Smarter thinks big. Smarter helps destroy cancer with precision. Smarter 3D prints a bridge out of steel. Smarter makes the fastest faster. Smarter lets you binge watch without being watched. Smarter sees the future of medicine in deadly venom. Smarter sends school kids on field trips without leaving the classroom. Smarter uses big data, AI and 5G to fight climate change and feed future generations. Because the toughest challenges demand smarter technology.
Babies will love the smart diaper. And we do too.
Take that, smart. Lenovo. Smarter technology for all.
We are the face of every woman, every man, every person striving to be their most beautiful self. Now our face is changing. And like all the lives pharmacy has touched, every future has been altered for the better. It's an evolution that will change everything. The products may look different, but it's what's inside that's really evolved. Science and nature meet beauty with stronger formulas, better ingredients, and the same high standards we've been living up to for over 71 years. It's a new era, and the rules are still golden. Dr. C Tuna Skincare.
বাঁশি বাজায় রে মন কেন না চায় রে আমার প্রাণ যে মানে না কিছুই ভালো লাগে না কে বাঁশি বাজায় রে মন কেন না চায় রে আমার প্রাণ যে মানে না কিছুই ভালো লাগে না
Washington University of Science and Technology, WUST, is a school of excellence that creates an ecosystem between industry and academia. Established in 2008 in Virginia, USA, WUST has been educating students from 121 countries and permanent residents. Since inception, our modus operandi has been AAA, accredited, accessible, and affordable. students at WUST have been gaining the skills which are highly demanding in today's complex workforce. Hence, we create a replica of the work environment in the classroom settings. WUST is currently led by engineer Abubakar Hanif, a Bangladeshi American entrepreneur who is the chairman and CEO, and Dr. Hassan Karabuk, a proven university administrator, is the current president. WUST is certified to operate by Chevron, Virginia, accredited by ACSC, approved to offer GI Bill educational benefits by the Virginia State Approving Agency, and approved by the U.S. Department of Education to offer federal student aid for those students who qualify. WUST's leadership includes faculty members who are scholar practitioners with 4 to 30 years of experience, making them excellent instructors. Dr. Mark L. Robinson, Professor Apostolos Eliopoulos, Dr. Shane Cho, Dr. Zafir Karim, Mrs. Farhana Hanif. With online, hybrid, and in-person learning options, our staff and faculty are fully committed to touching lives, one student at a time. WUST offers degrees, skills, certificates, and career assistance until every graduate lands a job.
First, I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to all university admin, staff. We have learned a lot in terms of academics as well as from our friends who come from very different parts of the world.
Oh my God, I am feeling like out of this world. This was a day that I was really hoping for.
After a while, I fell in love in this university. It was amazing, experiment in the university. I've learned a lot of, in these 2 years, it was a good experience.
Study at WUST and shape your future.